can come and ride the wave, yeah. I'm just on a wave, I'm just on a different wavelength. I'm just on a wave, I'm just on a different wavelength. I'm just on a wave, call it safe, yeah. I'm just on a wave, call it safe, yeah.
Hey Princess Crew, Combat Princess here, back with an all new video. If you're new, welcome. Before we get into anything, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you end up liking the video, turn on post notifications. So first I want to say that this video is long overdue. It is. I've been supposed to record this video, but better late than never. So we are going to talk about Mortal Kombat 11 and Mortal Kombat 1, aka Mortal Cameo 1, because, you know, that's what they really based this game, made the foundation of MK1 off of Cameo. So first I want to get into gameplay. Not here for MK1's gameplay, obviously because of, you know, Cameo reasons and stuff like that, because y'all notice that when you play online, there's no win odd percentage. Why is that? I'm gonna tell you why. Because ain't no telling who gonna pull off the W when you have cameos. Ain't no telling what the cameo gonna do. First of all, releasing Mortal Kombat 1 without a 1v1 option was a mistake, in my opinion. Not everyone was used to the cameo stuff, and for a person that, you know, was just a diehard MK fan or just, you know, wanted to play for the fun of it, the cameo stuff would have been a whole new ball game for them, period. Because a lot of these characters, it's like their moveset is based off of having a cameo supported. And when we get to the point of basing a character off of a cameo, we lose focus off of the main core characteristics of that character that makes them who they are. For Kit, for example, you know, she can't do a bunch unless, you know, you have Scorpion really in the scene with her. And that's sad, because a character should be able to feel and be sufficient without cameo access, which is why in Combat Lead also, you are not able to switch your character, you switch the cameo. You know, I shouldn't be able to be like, hey, this is not working because of my cameo. I should be able to switch the character, not the cameo. But see how everything is just focused and based on the work of cameo, and that's why I'm not really here for MK1's gameplay compared to 11. And I don't want to hear any comments, you know, Princess, what about the graphics? The graphics. What about the new graphics? No. The graphics can be top tier all they want to, but it doesn't make it better than 11. Wasn't it Steam community that said, and I'm gonna read it, firstly, the graphics and animations in MK1 feel outdated and lack the level of detail and realism seen in MK11. The character roster in MK1 is limited, with a lack of diversity, depth, and moves and abilities compared to extensive selection in MK11. Didn't I tell y'all that a lot of characters do not have a lot going for them as far as their moveset because of cameo? So basically they have to have the cameo carry. And I feel like when you have a cameo carrying the character, we have lost the focus and the foundation and the build of Mortal Kombat, which has always just been 1v1, you know, here's some combos and your moveset, and that's how we go. But I don't know, let me stop, because, you know, y'all wanted to drag me in the comments when I had said that variations should be returning. And, you know, I don't get why there's some hatred for variations. In my opinion, I'm here for expanding a character. In my opinion, there is still not a game compared to MKX. They really dived into the characters and really branched them out and elevated a lot of characters and their animation. Scorpion is a big example of that, just seeing the spear and his basic moves. And X, they really elevated him and started doing like, the hell grabs and stuff like that. It was different. It was something new. And that is the reason why I was here for variations, because if they had just stuck to a basic move set, then I don't really feel like there would have been any type of elevation if variations were not introduced. So the people that want to hate on variations, please touch grass, because this game definitely needs some variation, some stimulation, whatever you want to call it, because it is lacking. It's not giving what needs to be gave. Introducing tag team mode in MK9, and then, trying to come back in 11 with the tag assist stuff, and then come back to Mortal Cameo with the cameo stuff is definitely a downgrade compared to tag team mode, in my opinion. It's not better. I do think the roles should come back during the gameplay, because really when it came to gameplay, all they got rid of was the roles, the KBs, and also the environmental actions, which I didn't really care about that anyway, and KBs were completely overrated. But the roles, when you're in the corner, there's a lot going on with some of these characters. There's a lot going on with some of the cameo, and I do feel like getting rid of that was kind of stupid, in my opinion, because it's like so many times I even personally feel like if I could just get out of this corner or roll out in time enough, instead of trying to build my meter for a breakaway when my character is cameo meter based, so I have to use my meter to accomplish combos. So it's a lot of good things going down the right path, but down that path, they're not complementing each other when it comes to mechanisms, in my opinion. So it's not giving. And it's because of cameo. Now, there are some characters to mention, like Lily, the Nun, JC, that, are really good, strong characters. But what about the characters that aren't strong, that you wanted to build around a cameo? What about them? What about the characters that are on the back burner? Even the characters that I don't like. That's just imbalance. That's not fair, in my opinion. Some characters, they really went in all the way in on, that felt very sufficient, like Barack Obama, as far as animations. But you have characters like Kit Kit that you kind of just see the same thing over and over again, and it's just it's just the lack of. Let's get into the content, honey. What the hell is this? The shrine needs to be called the Decline, because that's what it's giving. They barely really update this thing, and I don't really care. Where's the crypt? That is what I need brought back into this game. They wanted to play around with the crypt and play with it until they finally removed it from the game. And it's like y'all are very comfortable with it. I was never comfortable with this. It was very fun to venture around and play treasure hunt, or and do stuff. Even MK11's crypt stuff was more entertaining than what we have. And what do we have? Absolutely nothing. The fatalities are lackluster, like I always say. Some characters are unique enough to carry the fatality to where it's not lackluster, but most fatalities are lackluster. And I'm not going to put my foot on their neck too much when it comes to fatalities, because in my opinion, fatalities have kind of downgraded after X. They started getting a little too cute with fatalities, and it started to get, a little lackluster, in my opinion. And I don't know if that has something to do with, the gore that's supposed to be in video games now and stuff like that, or whatever. But I will say that fatalities have definitely been de-evolutionized. But the brutalities always come through, but I still kind of feel like the brutalities were a little bit better and more in depth in 11 versus 1. But MK1 brutalities, they are cute, but they are kind of basic, but they are kind of easier to do, like the requirements are way easier to pull off versus 11. while we're on the topic of fatalities, I'm really sick of the 2 fatalities crap. You know, if you're giving these basic, a lot of these fatalities, like I said, are lackluster. So I'm gonna need more than just 2 fatalities. You know, I get, you know, what about brutalities? What about brutalities? You know, I'm here for brutalities too, but sometimes you just want to just, you know, end them with the nice little fatality, the classic way. Because what came first? Fatalities, right? So I still have a love for fatalities. I even liked the faction fatalities that they had introduced in X. So I'm here for the fatalities. What I'm not here is for the basic, you know, 2-second fatalities. The cameo fatalities are lackluster too and basic in like 2 seconds. That's what I'm not here for. And if that's the case, if you're going to give us basic and lackluster fatalities like that, can you give us more of it? Because just 2, like, that's really sad. It just, you know, deprives from the basic Mortal Kombat content, because I remember when we used to have about like 4 or 3 fatalities. You know, you had to go find them, or, you know, whatever, or you could unlock them, or, you know, it's just, I'm not really here for the 2 basic fatalities, because that gets repetitive and it gets old. When it comes down to skins, compare it to 11 and 1, MK11 is blowing them out of the water. Even the season skins, in my opinion, in 11 are better than Mortal Cameo. The character customization and cameo customization is very basic, in my opinion. You know, just giving me little shades and stuff. It's basic. Especially when like the attire and the skins are kind of basic too. You know, maybe if the skins kind of ate, maybe I would be okay with having, you know, these little basic little color palettes, you know, but they're not. So no, it was definitely more in depth in 11, in my opinion. Moving on to Borvations, but if you're new, you may know it as Invasions. Borvations is boring, you know. I thought it was going to be like some type of conquest mode or some, you know, something, but it wasn't, you know, and they didn't even really give us like an open world. It's some connect the dots shit. You know, you pick your character and you're going from placemat to placemat. You know, it's giving Twister. That's what it was giving. Placemat to placemat. They got you running all around these dots, doing all these ambushes and random fights, and you not even knowing what you're gonna get in return. Just some random cosmetic drop and probably a little bit of XP, but is it really sufficient? No. They could have did better, because I mean, in MK11 it was kind of fun. You knew the assignment, you knew the towers that you had to complete, you knew how many towers you had to complete, and you knew the items that you were going to be given in return. It wasn't work my fingers to death and just drop me on a cosmetic on a character that I don't even play as. You know, that's boring. You might as well just, you know, go back to the shrine and just keep clicking, you know, coins and whatever, and just, you know, wait for a random drop. For Evasions would be more fun if they got rid of the connect the dots stuff, gave us an open world, and gave us some story while in it. You know, the ambushes, you know, stuff that gets boring, and all this gets repetitive, and have me fight a character, not do some Disney Channel arcade game with the fireballs and, you know, jumping over stuff, because that just makes me want to log out and turn the game off. Because no. Now, please don't drag me, but when it comes to story, I really do like the MK1 story so far. It is kind of a mess. It is kind of all over the place, but I'm seeing a lot of characters I haven't seen in a long time. You know, it's just a lot of diversity going on in the story, and I really enjoyed myself, and I really hope that they bring Onaga back, because that will like break MK internet. Like, they need to bring Onaga back, period, as, you know, a boss. I'm not here for Shai Shang being you know, another antagonist, you know, because, you know, they have rode that wave and it has been ran through. Same thing goes for Havoc, aka Havage. They just kind of made him like a random antagonist, and I was just never here for that. I need Onaga, I need the Dragon King, I need to see him in a newer franchise. Also, I did like the Mortal Kombat 11 story. I just kind of like where they're going with 1, but I can't really speak too much on 1 because, you know, we're still allegedly waiting. But MK11 was one of my favorite Mortal Kombat game movie stories, and Jade ate all her scenes, period. Now, lastly, I want to talk about the characters. You know, I'm not here for, you know, the Garbage Pail Pack, aka Combat Pack, aka DLC Injustice 3 pack. It just was never giving. You know, Homemaker didn't do a bunch. You know, not here for Omni-Man, aka Supergirl. You know, I was here for Rich Homie Quan Chi, Taikita, and MacBook, because that's where some originality, that's some nostalgia that I needed to come back into the game. And the fact that they didn't put Kadishi's, aka Sonya Blade, and Jax, and Jade, and Noob Saibot in the game, you know, it's kind of wonky and weird to some players, you know. And I was just never here for the pack, period. I was just never here for this new pack. I did think that Sindel, Nightwolf, you know, Shiva, you know, Fujin, those were interesting characters. Those were characters that you couldn't say a bunch about and, you know, just get away with it. Those were very captivating characters that will entice you and hype up a pack. They not really doing a bunch with MK cameo. So our MacBook and Taikita can bring originality and basically nostalgia back to the game, but it's not going to make it better than 11, given, you know, the base overall mechanics of the game. So the people that really want to say that, you know, MK1 is better, they're just delusional. Yes, MK1 has the potential to be better, but they're not going down that path, honey, as you can see. So, alright, that is all for today's video. If you guys like it, give it a thumbs up.